How's it going, everyone? This is the George here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Fantastic Four, the first steps. That's right, there's a new Fantastic Four movie out this weekend. The first one from the MCU. We're also two films away from Avengers Doomsday, and I am also back from my vacation, so back to some movie reviews and videos on Sundays. But yes, the Fantastic Four, the first steps, was directed by Matt Shakeman and stars Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, Ebon Mus Backrack, and Joseph Quinn. And in this movie, we are in another Earth, Earth A28, with the Fantastic Four, who have been around for a few years now. They're heroes that everyone loves. It's in this futuristic retro 1960s world, which is universes that I love to explore growing up on stuff like the Jetsons. But a new threat named Galactus is coming, and Sue Storm is also pregnant, and Galactus wants this baby, and so they have to protect the Earth before it gets eaten, like all these other planets have. So a lot was riding on this movie, in my opinion, because we are long overdue for a great Fantastic Four movie, or at least a good Fantastic Four movie. There was a Fantastic Four movie in the 1990s that didn't come out, but apparently was garbage, never got released. There was the 2005 movie and its sequel to 2007 film Rise of the Silver Surfer. And, I have a soft spot for the 2005 movie. I don't think it was that bad. I mean, I enjoyed the cast in that movie, but the plot could have been better as well. And Rise of the Silver Surfer, Galactus being that cloud really ruined it. And I don't know, that movie, for a movie that was like an hour and a half, it felt like it was longer. And then you had Fan Four Stick, that whole controversy, which there's a ton of videos on YouTube you can probably find about that. The controversy with the director Josh Trank and all that. And again, that was another Fantastic Four movie that had a great cast, but they just didn't fit the movie. But yeah, that really soured people on Fantastic Four, I feel like. And the fact that a few years later, Disney had gotten the in Fox, which also gave them the rights to X-Men Fantastic Four, gave hope that, hey, we can finally get a good Fantastic Four movie. Who knows? They're going to, at some point, be in the MCU post Infinity War and Endgame. But also, since then, the MCU has gone on a roller coaster of a ride. One day, you're going to have a great movie like Spider-Man No Way Home. And then a few months later, you can get a movie like Thor Love and Thunder, which isn't all that good. And then you'll get a Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 in the mix, and then an Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumanium. It's been very up and down with the MCU. So it's not just that we need a great Fantastic Four movie. We just need a good MCU movie, especially since this is an important one before Avengers Doomsday next year. The Fantastic Four are going to apparently have a big role in the upcoming Avengers movie, as well as the Thunderbolts. And the Thunderbolts was a big surprise. That was a great movie. It did what it needed to do. Even though this is DC Superman, same thing. Superman started a new DCU, and it did its job very well. And I actually think there's more riding on in the Fantastic Four first steps than there was Superman, because, yeah, we need a great Superman movie. It's the start to a new universe. But you could also make the case that we've at least gotten a few good Superman movies where we haven't really gotten that for Fantastic Four. I mean, whether you love Man of Steel or not, you can't argue that Man of Steel is still better received than all the Fantastic Four movies that have come out before First Steps came out. And did Fantastic Four: The First Steps deliver? I think it did. I think this was a great movie, and the MCU has gotten two great movies in a row, which is a streak that we should hopefully continue going with Spider-Man Brand New Day and Avengers Doomsday. But a lot works in this movie, from feeling fresh compared to other MCU movies, because this is in a different universe, so you don't have to watch Thunderbolts or Captain America Brave New World or even the first Iron Man movie to understand what's going on in this movie. It's in its own universe. It feels fresh. So that's a big relief. The futuristic retro 1960s world setting works so well, from the costumes and set pieces, how New York City looks. to Michael Giacchino's great score. One of the things I'll say about Michael Giacchino is he's done quite a few scores for the MCU. Always finds a unique score for whatever movie series he's doing, whether it was the first Doctor Strange or any of the Spider-Man movies in the MCU. And Fantastic Four First Steps, he continues that again. The special effects feel way better than some of the special effects in some of the recent MCU movies in the last few years. Maybe because they don't have those COVID restrictions, or they're rushing through making movies again, because it kind of felt like the MCU was just rushing through stuff to catch up at times. But also the cast felt refreshing. Like Pedro Pascal, I understand people feel there's too much Pedro Pascal because he feels like he's in every franchise. But that also just tells you how great of an actor he is, because he nails every role that he's in. He's great as Joel in The Last of Us. I enjoy him as Mando in The Mandalorian. Even in a bad movie like Wonder Woman 1984, I thought he was actually one of the bright spots in that movie. I liked him in Gladiator too. And here as Reed Richards, I think he did an excellent job. I think this is one of the better MCU castings out there. And I know some people were concerned when he was first cast, but I actually was looking forward to seeing what he can bring to the table, because he's got such good acting range. But it's Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm that also feels just as strong in this movie. I mean, she was the casting that I thought was the most perfect out of the Fantastic Four castings when they were first announced. I thought she did an excellent job in this movie. And this is a Sue Storm that is about to deliver a baby. She's pregnant for the majority of the movie. So she's dealing with that, and then when the baby's born, protecting the baby from Galactus in this world that thinks, hey, this baby, protecting this baby ain't worth endangering the rest of the planet. Ebon Moss-Backrack as the Thing, I also enjoyed as well. He provided some humor as well as heart in this movie. Really enjoyed how he looked and his character. His voice at first, I was like, I wasn't feeling it, but I got more used to it as the film progressed. The casting, though, and performance that really surprised me was Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm, aka the Human Torch. Because when I first saw the trailer for the first Fantastic Four trailer, sorry, I'm a bit jumbled. The first Fantastic Four trailer, I wasn't quite buying him as Johnny Storm. I thought he was going to be the weak link, and I thought he was going to feel like the Flash in the DCEU, where he just comes across as awkward and cringe line delivery. But I felt he did a pretty good job as Johnny Storm in this movie. In fact, he did a lot of great stuff in this movie, and I really liked what they were doing with the character. There's obviously going to be those people that say, hey, gender swap with Silver Surfer, although to be fair, there's a female Silver Surfer in the comics. But Julia Garner as Silver Surfer, I thought she did a great job. Silver Surfer looked great in this movie. And she had some really cool action sequences in the movie. Galactus in this movie. This actually feels like Galactus. Ralph Ineson, sorry if I mispronounced that last name, I thought did a great job as Galactus and delivered. The design of Galactus looks great. The performance was great. The threat that he provides in this movie is great. It doesn't feel like he was just tacked on for some big threat at the end of the movie like he did with Rise of the Silver Surfer. Yeah, Galactus was excellent in this movie. Also, the Fantastic Four costume designs. Love how the suits look in this movie. Like how their powers look as well. As I said before, the special effects look great. The way the Thing looks in this movie is great as well. I don't really think I have that many complaints with this movie, or any major complaints with this movie. It's less than 2 hours, but honestly, I don't think this movie could need to be any longer. Like, I'm usually time in a movie is one of my big complaints. I always say, oh, this movie could have been shorter, this movie could have been longer. The Fantastic Four actually felt like the runtime felt perfect for it. It didn't need to be longer than it had to be. It didn't need to be shorter than it needed to be. I think they got the runtime right for this movie. I think they got a lot of things right with this movie overall. Also, the world building in this movie, I got to talk about that. Like they're referencing several villains. There's like a few cameos from certain villains and characters that you never thought you would see in a Fantastic Four movie, because it always feels like the previous Fantastic Four movies, it was always relying on Doctor Doom, Doctor Doom, Doctor Doom, or Cloud Galactus. So it was nice to see like those cameos and hearing those references and Easter eggs, and it's a nice world building in this new universe and Earth that we are introduced to. And yeah, Fantastic Four: The First Steps to me is one of the better MCU movies. It's definitely one of the best post Endgame MCU movies, with great cast, great antagonists, great setting, great score, great costumes, great action and special effects. Has a really good sci-fi feel as well when they're into space, as well in the scenes that they're going into space. And this movie did its job and what it needed to do before Avengers Doomsday next year. And you definitely gotta stay for the mid credit. Seeing I wasn't expecting that with the mid credits. And we're only 2 films away from Avengers Doomsday. We got Spider-Man Brand New Day, which we don't know much about other than the Punisher being in it with Spider-Man. And Sadie Sink's going to be in it. I don't know what role she's going to play yet. And then we got Avengers Doomsday with that big cast, including the Fantastic Four, original X-Men, Thunderbolts, and other former members of the Avengers. But yeah, overall, I'm going to give the Fantastic Four: First Steps an A. This was a fantastic movie that I highly recommend. In fact, I think overall this year has been a really good year for comic book movies. I mean, yeah, Brave New World could have been a lot better, but I don't think it was that bad. Thunderbolts I thought was great. I enjoyed Superman a lot more, and Fantastic Four: The First Steps nailed it. Now, people might ask, what do I prefer more, Fantastic Four or Superman? I think Fantastic Four might slightly have a better story than Superman, but I think Superman is slightly more enjoyable than the Fantastic Four. I know that's a rarity to say about a DC movie because DC always gets the rap of being too dark. But yeah, I think Superman I enjoyed more. It would probably rewatch more, but honestly, I would probably rewatch both these movies and Thunderbolts a lot because they are excellent comic book movies, and I think they're what the genre needs. I don't know how well the Fantastic Four is going to do in the box office. I assume it's going to do well domestically, internationally, though. I don't know because of I don't know if it's due to how people feel about America right now or the fact that there is still comic book movie fatigue and people are just in other countries just don't care about comic book movies anymore. Who knows? But yeah, the Fantastic Four: The First Steps. Have you seen it? What did you think about it? And what, in your opinion, is the best Fantastic Four movie? It's definitely this one for me. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe already if you haven't. Please share this with someone that loves the Fantastic Four and the MCU. And I hope to see you guys real soon. Take care, everyone.